Welcome back to Daybreak Extra on Trust TV this lovely Saturday morning. Well, when we started the show, we were actually talking about being a new year and some people still being in the holiday spirit. And of course, talking about how January drags on and on. But mostly when you talk about things like this, it's usually because of finances. And usually it's just like Darshan said earlier, a lot of people spend a lot during December, having parties, going on vacation and whatnot. And at the end of the day, you find yourself in January with a lot of bills to pay, you know, and not enough resources to do it. But some people actually argue that if you have a budget and you keep your finances in check and carefully analyze everything and you plan accordingly, that you won't find yourself in this kind of pickle. Do you believe that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So did you have a budget for December? And did you follow that budget?
Not necessarily. For December. For December, I had a budget, yes, and I followed it.
And you had a plan for January.
You know, in this, you know how Nigerian economy is. You know, you have plans, and then you have emergencies, and things come up, and you need to use some money for other stuff. And then, you know, with the increase of, you know, almost everything in the markets today, you end up spending more than you are supposed to. So, you know, I had for December, even though we're yet to know what's going to happen in January. But, you know, yes, when you have savings, I think that actually, you know, helps a lot.
But what stops you from dipping into your savings after you've exhausted whatever it is you have?
I think discipline. Discipline is very, very important. Some things you don't need.
How disciplined are you, Dasha?
I can be in January. I'm usually very disciplined.
Well, there are lots of things that actually you can consider when factors that you put in mind when you're making decisions about how you spend, what you spend it on, and who you spend it with. You understand? So these are things. Yes, on.
All right, so
let's not get into that discussion. Let's not get into that discussion now.
All right. Okay. All right, so we have a guest in the studio, and he's Oloyede Abdul Razak. Olayode, yes, Abdul Razak. You're welcome to the studio. He's a thinker, a philosopher, and also a communications expert. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
All right, so why is it important for people to have finances?
Why is it important for people to have finances?
Yes.
Definitely, you know, one of the most important things in the world today is to have finance, because definitely you need a purchasing power. You need something, you know, there's exchange. You don't have this, I have this, and that is where the exchange comes from. So because I have what you don't have, and you wanted what I have, then definitely I put a purchasing power on it that you must pay in order to have it. So that is why people must have finances.
Okay, so why do they need to get those finances in check?
Yeah, in check. All right. You see, the problem we are having today is the problem of not understanding what are the differences between a need and a want. You just mentioned people don't know what do people need. You know, there's need and there's want.
Okay.
You understand? So most people don't know the differences. And what is a need? A need is something that is necessary for survival. It's necessary for survival. While a want is just a desire. It's just a desire. So now, if you have finance and you're looking for what should I buy, the first thing that should come to your mind is your needs. So when you take care of your needs, then you start looking for your wants. You understand? So most time the problem is that we go for wants, then we now start finding ourselves in trouble. You just mentioned December. Then when it comes to January, people start, because most of what we do in December are wants. We squander money on wants. So we never look at the needs. What are those needs that we need?
So how do you relate that to the philosophy of I cannot come and kill myself? You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, fine. The needs are there. You know, and of course, you spend your whole life, you spend a whole lot of time chasing them. From January to November, you're chasing them, and now it's December. So I feel that I should splurge on myself?
Yeah, you see, enjoying or flinging things on yourself has to do with the time,
Okay.
a particular time in your life. Now, you see, there is hierarchy of what you need to do. You know about this Abraham Maslow hierarchy of needs. Okay, look at this hierarchy of needs. Okay, let's look at that hierarchy of need. Now, for instance, the first hierarchy of need, he said, is the physiological need. Physiological need, and that has to do with food. Has to do with shelter, has to do with breathing,
Things you
hair.
need to survive.
You need to, things that you need to survive with. Now, if you look at, there are 5 hierarchies. I think I can remember those hierarchy. We have the physiological need. After the physiological need, now said the next one is security and safety need. Now, if you have looked for food, you have looked for shelter, you now need security, because that is what, if you have food and there's no security, how will you enjoy that food? So you now get the food, then you're now looking for security. Then the next one, he now said, is social needs. Social need has to do with relationship, love, marriage, family. Did you get this now? Then after that, you now go to what we call esteem need. That is where I cannot come and kill myself is. You get what I'm saying now? Yeah, esteem need. You want to feel esteem. This is who I am. Then you now get to actualization. Now, if I said its hierarchy is time, for instance, you have not gotten that physiological need. You have not gotten security and safety need. Then the next thing you are going to is social need. Like a young boy. Now start looking for a woman to marry. You get what I'm saying now? If he goes to marry a woman, the first thing is that you have not taken care of your physiological need. Then you start having problem. In that instance, you were looking for a woman. I remember a guy wanted to get married, and they're asking him, "Where do you stay?" "I still stay with my parents." Then the man was looking. "You still stay with your parents? You need shelter. You need security where you put this woman inside. But you're coming to marry, so you can see that we are jumping the ladder." So I cannot come and kill myself there now. Is that you must have seen that you have taken the first physiological need, the second one, which is the safety need. Then you go to social. Or else, some people will just go to that extreme. They needed position, they want to become chief, they want to become this, they want to become that. But there are still some things that are lacking. So before you can say, I cannot come and kill myself, until when you get to actualization need. That actualization has to do with, you have done all what you have been doing, you now get to that actualization. That actualization now says that, if you read that thing very well, Maslow was now saying that you now need to improve in all those needs previously. Improve yourself so that you can maintain those things. So when you're not maintaining, you now say, "Oh, it seems I'm tired. I just need to rest and enjoy myself. I cannot come and kill myself." Then you now go back to social need and enjoy yourself.
And chill with the big boys.
All right, so but how can one better prepare for emergencies? Because, you know, this is something that a lot of people don't even think about. They don't think about emergencies. They don't think about when something comes up and they really need the money. So how can one better prepare for that?
You know, in your introduction, you mentioned that, and you equally mentioned discipline. Something kept coming to my mind. You know, I have aged parents, and my mind will just say, "Come, if they just called me today, something happened. Where will I have this money to rush?" Definitely, you have to go to Lagos. You know, when you get to Lagos, you have to do some things, all those things. Where will I get the money? Then I sat my wife down. I said, "Come, we must have a check on this. There should be a saving that you need to freeze based on emergencies." In fact, when I did this freezing, I actually told my account officer that until I call you like 3 times. Now, if I now call, I say, "I needed that money," like immediately they say, "No, I'm sorry, sir." Tell me that you are sorry. But if I persist like 3 times, then it means that I really need that money. Then you can release. So you see that the first thing you need to do, you know, the Englishman says that you cannot future in the future that you don't picture. So if you want to future in the future, you already know that there are some emergencies that will come. So you have pictured those, like the way I pictured mine now, that if tomorrow they say this happened. If tomorrow they say, oh, something is happening here, where will you have the money? So automatically there is a need for us to invest. And investing with discipline. Investing with discipline. Sometimes you may have a target and say, I wanted to buy this, if it is even a want. It may be a want that you wanted to target. Then something come up. You have to weigh it together and see which one do I need more. You know, I was reading, was it last week? I was reading a man wanted to sell his factory. 2 people want to buy. One want to buy it and produce alcohol. The second want to buy it and do a bread factory. Then he now said he doesn't even know who is going to sell it for. Who should I sell it to? Is it because of the money or because of the advantage of what they want to do? Then he put it to his family and said, come, if they do bread factory, people will eat. You can see that it's going to physiological need now. Most people will eat. The alcohol you want to do is just a want. If you don't drink it, you will not die. You understand? So if I now say, like when we say physiological need now, people need to eat. You need to eat to survive. Now, must it now be that you must eat all the paparazzi things that you need to eat before you can survive? No, you just need to eat and survive.
Okay, now we've talked about emergencies. What about retirement plans? You know, and in situations where people don't even earn that much, and even the amount they earn is not enough to take care of the present, how do they, save for emergencies and retirement, most especially?
Thank you. The first and most important retirement plan that we used to tell people is knowledge. Knowledge acquisition. Know. Go and know. Improve yourself. You get what I'm saying now? Improve yourself. Most people, they are sticked. There are different types of jobs now. There are some jobs that when you retire, you continue that job outside where you're working. You continue from that knowledge. There are some, when you retire, you start looking for what to do in a different field entirely. So now, if your job requires that after retirement, you can continue from what you are doing, the next thing is, how good are you in what you're doing? Have you improved yourself to the extent that when you finish, in fact, your organization, your company will have a feel that this person has gone, because most people will be going directly to that person as well. You understand? So you need to improve yourself in that area, so that immediately you are leaving or you are retiring, you already have a platform. Then the second one, if you know that, okay, if I finish this job, what do I do? Now, let me give you an instance. Somebody is working with the government and is saying, if I finish, I will do printing, I will go into printing. He want to go into printing. So his retirement benefit, he went to buy a very big machine. Yet he bought that big machine and he kept it. Then he's not looking for operators, he's looking for people that have the idea of printing so that they can come and assist. They came in, he hired all of them, they came in and they were working. The work was going on. But immediately something just got spoiled in that machine. I said they had to go to India to get it. And that was the end. This man, just a small thing, and that was the end. First of all, he doesn't have the idea of printing. He should have gone and say, let me learn this thing, let me know about it. I know people that will say they want to go into tailoring. They will go put somebody there, be sewing for me. The person will, you know how these people do it. The person will say, okay, it's 3 that I sew, and he has sewed like 10. We don't have the idea. So most times it's when you want to venture into anything outside your profession, you should learn those things. You should know those things very well. So after retirement, the most important thing is that, what is that knowledge that you have? And do you have a platform already for people to start coming? So sometimes some people, when they retire, they just sit down. Even if, for instance, if you have learned about tailoring and printing and things like that, you don't need to work. You already know it. When they come, you know what he's trying to tell you. No, that's not how it's done. Bring it, let me do it for you. You have seen a boss that doesn't know how to drive. And in the middle of the road, then the driver just get angry and say, okay, take your key. So what will the boss do? He doesn't know how to drive. He has to beg or call somebody to come and do that. So it means that when you want to retire, you must be equipped. And the most important thing first is the knowledge.
So in as much as we're talking about financial discipline and planning and whatnot, and of course managing the finances that you have, how important is cash flow to this big picture?
Thank you. You know, the question we ask is, what does it mean to be rich? What does it mean to be rich? If they say somebody is rich, what does it mean? So to be rich means that you have 10,000 today. And in the process of spending that 10,000, you have spent maybe 4,000. Then another 10,000 entered. In the process of spending that 14,000, you know, you have spent 4,000, 16,000 now. In the process of spending that, another 10,000 entered. You can see that is cash flow. It's coming in, it's going out. And that is why it is advised that most times we go for, they call it multiple source of income. Once this one is working, this one is also working. When this one is bringing its own, you are using it to round things together. So you see that you just want to understand that money must be flowing. And as the money comes, it goes. As it comes, it goes. So it's just a plan to say, what are those things that I have? Which areas do people need things? Then you start giving them what they need. Well, she just asked the other time, why do people need finance? It's because I have something that you don't have, then you want to get it from me, I put purchasing power on it. So look at what is those things that people need. What are those things that people want? Can you override? And that's what they are doing in the market today. They are overriding the need of the people to give them wants. They just put it in their brain, and they just forget that it's need that they need, not want. And they just start going for the want. So if you keep going for the want, that circle will not go. Like for instance, we have assets. Now, you want to purchase assets. When you purchase something, you keep it. You purchase. Let me tell you an instance. That's what we did before December in my house. What happened? We have a washing machine. We have this water dispenser. You know, the water dispenser has been there. We have not been using it. When you want to take water, there's water in the fridge. You already go to the fridge and take water. The water is there. Okay, we have a maid. She always wash the clothes. So most times we don't use the washing machine. And I say, come, what are these things doing here? What are they doing? You understand? So they are assets that are not even bringing anything. And they are just needs. They are just wants. They are not necessarily needs. You understand what I'm trying to say now? So what we just come on, let's sell all those things off. There are some things that are at the corner of your houses that you don't have anything they are doing. You don't even use them. Sometimes you don't just want to put it for adornment, you know. Sometimes you just then those are those things that will just they will stop flow of income from you.
Okay. So let me just ask this question. Earlier, when we were discussing, we discussed about how things fluctuate, especially the prices of things. You understand? How do you make allowances for that when you're actually planning or making a budget, either on a monthly or yearly or any kind of basis that you're doing? How do you make allowances for that? Because you might budget something at 5 naira now, you know, by the time you go to purchase it, it might be 7 or 8 naira or even 10 naira. How do you make allowances for that?
Yeah, thank you. In fact, when she was mentioning that, she just mentioned, you know, how Nigerian economy is. And me, I don't like hearing that word Nigeria. It's in the whole world. It's like that everywhere in the world. It's like that everywhere in the world. So, you see, the idea of putting your mind in a thing. For instance, now, you want to buy something that you know, oh, this thing costs 5,000 naira. It means that it is, when you are putting it, when you are trying to say, this is the amount you want to invest for it, you don't invest 5,000 naira exactly. Do you understand? It's like, okay, we used to say this. If you borrow somebody money, you raise it in your mind. You have borrowed him. But in your mind, say you gave him. Don't expect it. Anytime the money comes, it will become a plus. But when you start expecting that you borrow this person money, when is this money coming now? When this money coming now? Anytime that money comes, there must be something on ground that money will go for. But when it comes, when you're not expecting it, then you can invest it somewhere and say, let me just put this money in so investment. Do you understand now? So what I'm trying to say is that you don't put the exact amount that you want to buy that particular thing. You increase it. So when you increase it, when the time comes and it's the same price, you see that you have excess. That's about emergency again. So that excess, you can use it to do another thing.
Okay, now, if you were my financial advisor, and you were to advise me on whether to, save money or invest in long term, what would you advise me to do?
Whether to save money or invest. Definitely, the question he asked the other time about flow, how's money flow? Investment makes money flows. Savings doesn't make money flow. This is those two things.
Yeah, but there's a risk factor attached to investments. You could invest money and then it might not reap any dividends. But I know if I keep my money in my piggy bank, it's still there at least.
Yeah, there are two ways.
And then saving money in the bank or in the piggy bank.
Either way,
it's saving. Either way, it's saving.
Either way, it's saving. Whether it's under my mattress or inside the bank, it's still saving.
But just that the bank will also want to have some management fee, things like that. Exactly. But investment, you talk about risk, finance, and that is the problem that is affecting most of us today. We don't like taking risk. That risk is worth taking. Yeah, if you fail today, you still put it. That is why, if you read this book that says how rich people think or something like that, the way rich people behave, they take risk. They take huge risks. The amount of risk you are able to take will tell the amount of riches that you're going to have.
Well, maybe the rich people actually take those risks because they can afford it.
You think they can afford it?
Because they're rich. They can actually afford to take those risks. They actually can afford to take it. So that's the thing.
No, that is from the investment, from the risk that they have taken from the beginning. That's what makes them rich. They are not rich from the beginning.
But not all fingers are equal.
Definitely. So that is where you can start from savings. You understand? If the finger is not equal, you start from savings. Then you have a particular amount of money. Then you say, this money, why can't I invest it in this particular thing? So that I can just rest and the money will be working for me.
Okay, so what advice do you have for people who have taken so much risks and lost?
They should keep taking risks. They should continue. The only thing that they need to do is that they don't do the same thing the same way and expect different results. You look at, okay, why did I miss this? What did I do wrong? You go back to the table. You understand? If you look at this SMART goal, you talk about SMART goal, when you're looking for your goal, SMART goal. Now today it has gone to SMARTer goal. SMARTer. They have put ER. And that ER, the E now says you have to evaluate. You have to evaluate, and the R now says you have to now, when you evaluate, you see the results. When you evaluate, you see the result. So evaluation is, now it fails. Why did it fail? What did I do wrong? Is it the person I'm investing with? Is it the product I'm investing with? You understand? So you need to do that research, you need to do that. So when you evaluate after that SMART goal, you evaluate, then you know this is the problem. So, but the advice I will give is keep risking, keep risking.
All right, so for now, we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll, continue with the discussion. right, welcome back. You're still watching Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. And, before we went on the break, we're talking about, budget, finance, and, a lot of other things. And we still have Olayode Abdul Razak. He's a philosopher, and he's a communications expert as well. He's still in the studio with us. And, there was this question I wanted to ask before we went on the break. Now, considering the fact that there are lots of scams everywhere, not just in Nigeria, but, all around the world, and you talked about taking risks, how can one, see through or sieve to be able to know which of the investments are genuine?
All right. Definitely there are this scam or scammers are always everywhere, and they really wanted to play on our intelligence. They won't play on our intelligence. I will look for two solutions to this. The first solution, you see, there are four knowledge in this world, four most important knowledge in this world. Number one is our academic knowledge. You have gone to school, you have knowledge. Number two is our professional knowledge. Now you are professionals in what you're doing because you have gone to school. Now you have the professional knowledge. This is what you're doing. The third one is the spiritual knowledge. You know about how to communicate with the Almighty. And the fourth most important knowledge is the financial knowledge. And these, they don't teach you in school. You understand? They don't teach you in school. And you want to be rich. You want to become a doctor. You go to school and study medicine. Is that not so? You want to become a newscaster. You go to the school and study mass communications and communication studies. You come back becoming this. If you want to be rich, what do you do? If you want to be financially balanced, what do? You study finance. You understand financial intelligence. You get what I'm saying? So now the first thing is that most people that venture into places that they get scammed is that they don't even have that financial intelligence. They don't have it. Yeah, look, see, we are discussing the issue of the MMM and co. Some people that have financial intelligence really went into it and they are successful. Yeah. Because they have that financial intelligence. So that is the first area I want to tackle, that issue of scammers. Have financial intelligence. Then you know how to do it. A friend, it's a wrong explanation, but should I say it? I don't want to encourage some people to do anything anyway. All right. But that's the first way. The second one, see, the most successful athletes, successful footballers, they have what we call a coach. They have a coach. This coach train them, tell them the skill to use. Is that not so? The successful businessmen, they have business coaches. They have it. Why is it that in life and want to succeed in life, why don't we have life coaches? There are life coaches. Life coaches are there to help you in order for you to progress in life. So now it means that if you don't want to fall into scammers, you need a coach in your life. You need a mentor in your life. You need a counselor in your life. People say, oh, we have family doctors. Do you have a coach? You have a family coach? Do you have a financial coach? Now you can see that. You have a financial coach. You must have a coach or a mentor that before you even venture into some things, sir, this is what I wanted to do. Then that person, you already know that this is your mentor, and anytime he says, go here, is the right path. Then that person will lead you towards success. That person will tell you that this is what you want to venture into it. I have done that before, and I failed. You can't fail. Do it this other way. This is what mentors and coaches are for. So most people don't have coaches in their life. They don't have mentors in their life. They just do things the way they want to do it.
All right, why not, just be our coach for like 1 minute right now, okay? Because a lot of people don't know how to budget. Yes. So what does a normal budget look like? And also, how can people inculcate the habits of, having a budget? And is it advisable to have the budget on a monthly basis, weekly, yearly, or whatever time?
Yeah, there's no specific template for how to budget. There's no specific template. Because you just mentioned now, do we do it monthly, weekly? Because of the particular business that you do, your job implies the type of budget that you need to do. if you are a salary earner, you can't budget every day or every week. You know, this contribution that they do, this adashi, some people do adashi every day.
Yes.
Every day they do adashi. Some people say their own is every week, while civil servants do it every month, definitely. You understand? So the kind of job that you do determine the type of budget that you budget. One, lifestyle, your personality, your background also has to do with the type of budget that you budget. Now, for instance, we are talking about somebody want to use a company for alcohol, somebody want to use that same company for bread production. Those people are coming from different background and they have different ideology and they have different solutions that they want to solve. You understand? So all those things has to do with who are you and what do you really want to achieve. So it is that picture. The Englishman says you don't hit a target that you don't see. So the first thing to do a budget is, what is that target that you need? What is that target? So when you look at the target that this is what I need, the next thing is, do I have the paraphernalia of office of having this thing?
So is that target that makes your budget realistic?
Yes, is that target that make your budget realistic. So when you see the target, you say, okay, what do I need? Do I still need more knowledge to get this target? Do I need more friends? Know some people in order to get this target? You understand? You must know all those things and say, okay, do I need this thing? All those things that you now need, they are just like ingredients. They're just like ingredients. Like I was talking about end goal and means goal. There are some goals that they are end goals. There are some goals that are means goals. So you have a target. This is what you want to achieve. It's like an end goal in itself. But there are means in getting those end goals. So now, if you have a target which is the end, what are the means that you need? What are those things that you need in order to achieve that thing that you want to achieve? So all those things has to do with what you now have to budget for. Do you need to go to school to still acquire more knowledge? Do you need to go to do some professional this thing? Do you need to have a friend? Do you need to come and do intent in Trust TV before you can get to where you are going? You understand what I'm trying to say now? So some targets are like that. So it has to be realistic. And it has to be time bound. It has to be time bound. Look at it and say, okay, maybe in the next 6 months, this is what I want to achieve. In the next 1 year, this is what I want to achieve. It must be time bound. And you have to be specific. You have to be specific about it and look at it and say, okay, this is exactly what I want. Somebody I just want something. Which one do you want? What do you want? You must know what you want. There's this question we kept asking. Maybe I will ask you too. When do you determine your destination? Before the journey, during the journey, or after the journey? Where do you determine your destination? When? I'm asking now.
Oh, you want an answer?
Yes, I want an answer. When do you determine your destination?
Well, logically, it should come before the journey.
Before the journey. Logically, it should be before the journey. You get what I'm saying now? So most people don't. Now it means that you know your destination before you start even leaving your house. That is targets. That is budget. Where are you going? What is that destination that you want to go? Then you now look for the vehicle that will take you. You're going to Lagos. There are vehicles that can take you to Lagos. It can be car, it can be bus, it can be bicycle, it can be motorcycle, it can be plane. Is that not so? Now that vehicle will now determine how far or how fast you get to that your goal. Oh, I want to go to Lagos in 45 minutes. Take a plane now. That is the vehicle that will take you. So if you're now going to get to Lagos in 45 minutes and your vehicle that is taking you there is motorcycle, will you get there? So you now start looking for that is the means to achieving that goal. So that all those things affect your budgets.
Okay. All right. you know, with this, we will definitely wrap up this particular discussion on finances. Thank you so much for taking time out, you know, to, have this conversation with us. We've actually learned a lot, and I hope the viewers out there have learned a lot from you as well. Thank you. Hopefully, next time we'll have you on the show again to discuss something.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right, so that was Olayode Abdulrazak. He's a thinker, philosopher, and a communication scholar.